Oh, blacktail. Takes one bite to figure it out. He's old hair lip. No, he's not. We made him hair lip. Look at that. We've been like, what, a quarter mile, half mile, maybe 3/4 of a mile down the bank, no bites. But what happens is, this time of year can be really, really good on a buzzbait, but you can also miss it. What I've been doing is the water temperature is like 57, 58, which it's on a down, it's fall, you know, it's on its way down. And I've been out there running wind and stuff like that. Just that one bite right there, I can almost guarantee you what's gonna happen. We're gonna have to run stuff that's calm and kind of get out of the wind on these fish that are more aggressive. I think in the wind, you know, a guy could throw a spinnerbait or square bill or something like that, but we're gonna have to we want to catch them. I want to catch them on a buzzbait today because I feel like we can catch some big ones if we do. But we need to get in some flat water, some calm water, because that fish right there act like he'd never seen a buzzbait. And we've been across some good stuff, but like right there, it's just flat, shallow. We got in his house and made him bite. Some of this other stuff we've been fishing's been too deep. Give them a choice. Probably not getting close enough to them, so we need to get in some shallower water. So the lake we're fishing today, you know, the water temperature is, like I said, down to the, you know, high 50s. We've had a couple hard fronts come through, but it's been stable for a few days now. And, you know, and I kind of expect the fish to be biting. Anytime you're fishing this time of year, the later in the day you get, I mean, there's a morning bite, there's always a morning bite. No matter if it's wintertime, springtime, there's always that early morning bite. But more so this time of year, you're gonna get that 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock bite. It's just, you know, them shad get up and everything just seems to feed later in the day. But the lake that we're on is it's a flat lake anyway, meaning that, you know, it's not 30 foot off the bank, it's 4 or 5, and which means it's a good lake for a buzzbait. You know, if you've thrown a buzzbait much, here's kind of my rule with it. If you've thrown it much, like I can count on one hand how many fish I've caught on it. He ate it. Easy, buddy. Got too much line out. See, I mean, I'm getting ready to come out of the sweatshirt. It's warm. But this fish is like, he's pretty cold. You know, it's getting that time of year where they're not gonna just race across something to get it. You're going to get close to them. So my point was, I was talking about, I can count on one hand how many fish I've caught on a buzzbait out of deeper than 5 foot. I mean, you look at it, it's probably the ugliest bait ever made. But it's a fish catching son of a gun, and here's kind of my rule whenever I throw it. You know, you want some color in the water, which we have, and you want, I want one of two things. I want to feel like the fish are just kind of mad, you know, kind of aggressive. And I really, after all of these years of fishing, I don't know that many of the bites you get are feeding bites, you know, which means like they think it's a shad and they're eating it. I think 99% of the buzzbait bites are just reaction, and I think that's why the shallower you get with a buzzbait, the better it is, because you put it in their face. The closer you get to their face, the more apt they are to bite it. That's why you get in 6 or 7 foot. Am I saying that you can't catch them in it? No. You know, there's somebody watching this that says, well, I caught one the other day in 30. Well, good for you. I'm just saying, as a rule for me, I don't like throwing it in real deep water, and it's a bait that I'm going to cover, you know, a ton of water in it. But you know, I think about some of the best buzzbait days I've ever had were days that it was tough for everybody else. That's why I think nothing, they didn't want to bite anything else, but they would choke a buzzbait because it was just reaction. I had to make them bite. You know, I can remember a tournament on Grand once where I went to the bushes early and caught 16 or 17 pounds, which was a good stringer in the fall then. And I knew I had a good bag, so I just tied on a buzzbait and I was like, well, I'm gonna throw this the rest of the day, and if I get a bite, it's gonna be a big one. I culled every fish that I had and caught an 8-pounder that day. I didn't get a lot of bites, but the bites I got were big ones, and a lot of the field struggled to even catch a limit. So, you know, those days where you got shallow, off-color water, those are the days that are good for a buzzbait. You know, the kind of the lowest I've ever caught them, water temperature wise, is 51 or 52. And that was like a, you know, it wasn't 60 the day before and you had a front and it dropped to 51. That was like, you know, you had some steady, it was just slowly going down and you had some stable weather. But like I said, the lake's low. We're looking for anything in the water, you know, a rock sticking out, a log, a brush pile, anything that gives us high percentage. But you don't want, whenever you're throwing this, you're going down the bank, you know, you see my bubble line right there. You know, you don't want to go 2 foot over or 3 foot over. You know, this is a bait that I feel like they're going to come 8 or 10 feet to get it at least, if they're going to. So I'm covering water. You know, you see the bubbles, I'm 15 feet at least between the bubbles. Now, if it was super dirty and I had a lot of targets, yeah, I would probably tighten up my bubble line some. But this, I mean, this is actually just perfect fishing water right here. I mean, you got a foot of visibility and shallow water. And I expect that the later it gets, the better it's going to get. Little one. Little one's got to eat it too. Boy, they are eating it though, like good. Just a 1/2 ounce War Eagle. You know, I took see there in the center, a lot of guys are on the frogs and stuff like that, and that's fine. I'm still a skirt guy. I don't know. I feel like I get a lot of bites. I don't have to fight the bait. You see that piece of plastic right there? That's a Christie crawl. It's a lot of plastic. And I put that on there because it gives you more weight. It makes the bait easier to throw. It doesn't catch in the wind. 3 bites and not very much time on the same kind of stuff. It's just a matter of time before we catch a big one. Like you look up through here where the bank's like super flat. I mean, right here we're sitting in 6, but it comes out there a good ways. shallow water, and I bet we catch one down through here. You'll get just a explosion, and you'll miss it. You'll get another bite, and it'll be an explosion, and you'll miss it. And then what'll happen is you'll get an explosion, you'll catch one, and he'll barely be hooked. And then what that does is it hooks you. You're like, well, I've had 2 big bites, I've caught one. And then what happens is your next 3 bites, before you know it, by the end of the day, you've had 10 bites and you've caught 1 or 2. And those days don't happen a lot, but they happen. It's just that they don't like the, you know, you're getting them to come up. What I think it is you're getting them to react, but they're just hitting it like closed mouth. So you're not going to catch them. And I've learned now, kind of got a rule on a buzzbait. If I get 3 bites in the morning and I don't catch them, you know, at least 2 of them, you better switch baits, spinner bait, something different. Like I said, it doesn't happen often, but it does happen. And then you got days like today where they just choke it. Spotted bass. Still eating it. When they're getting it like that, he is cold. You know, like I said earlier, 1/2 ounce War Eagle buzzbait. I got a trailer hook on there. I typically always use a trailer hook. And I use braid, 40-pound SX1 Sunline, and I use a real soft rod. And that reason being is because when I'm reeling that thing and they get it, I want it to load up. And I don't need a whole lot with braid. So this is a 7.5 to 1 reel. Yeah, and a lot of people now are using braid. If you're not using braid, and the problem is this buzzbait, it's just going to twist your line. It's going to twist it, it's going to twist it. And braid, it just doesn't show that like monofilament or fluorocarbon will. Oh, blacktail. So weird. If I've learned one thing today is they're really not on anything. You just got to go down the bank and throw it. Crushed it. Look at how pretty that tail is. Buzzbait, be a great bait in the fall. Just got to pick it up and throw it. I hope you guys learned something, and I appreciate you riding along.